Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The News.
Good evening, America. Tonight in the news, some wonderful stories to enlighten your world. This week in good news. Findings from a recent United Nations report state that the number of undernourished and hungry people in India has declined by 60 million over the last decade. And other Asian regions are also experiencing declines. India has the second largest population on Earth, but fortunately, even as the population is growing, the amount of food insecurity is falling. Considered a leader in authoritative reporting on malnutrition, the UN State Food Security and Nutrition in the World estimated that the number of undernourished people in India declined by 20%, from 249 million in 2004 to 189 million in 2019. Very, very good news. India embarking on many agricultural projects, and focusing on in-country growth of food products to solve their nutrition crisis. Very good. Additionally, a sea sponge found growing in the coral reefs of Indonesia contains an organic chemical that halts the cellular duplication of cancerous tumors. University researchers also point to its curative power, I can read, for other diseases as well, and are strongly suggesting the cultivation of the sponge to scale so as to boost the production of future drugs. They say the cell prevents replication rather than killing the cell outright, leading to immediate impacts on tumor growth, and then other drugs are useful for killing the remaining tumor cells, or they might die off on their own, denied of production of nutrients from their other created cells. Okay? This is also really cool. They think it might also cure herpes. So for those of you out there who got a little wild in your early 20s, there may be hope for you. A rare sturgeon has been found. In just the span of 2 weeks, juvenile sturgeon of two different species, both of which were feared extinct, have been fished accidentally out of a river in the Republic of Georgia. That's the country, not the state. For those of you unfamiliar with the geography of the world, there is a nation called Georgia. The two fish, first caught in mid-March, and the second 3 weeks later, represent a glimmer of hope for European sturgeon conservation and appeared after experts had already expressed fears that they may have disappeared forever. Sturgeon are a primeval fish whose evolution dates back hundreds of millions of years. This is very, very important. Very little is known about the sturgeon, but the fact that two juveniles, each of similar age, were caught in the span of 2 weeks is extremely exciting, as it could mean they are part of the same brood, and that sturgeon continue to spawn in the Rioni River. Their discovery is also vindication of the work of Flora and Fauna International, whose volunteers operate in the area trying to save the sturgeon populations. Their community outreach goals of educating everyone in the community, from school children to fishmongers, that's an official term, fishmonger, on the plight of the prehistoric fish was proven worthwhile, as both the juvenile sturgeon were caught and then reported to the FFI by the fishermen. Fantastic. This is an exciting story that we have right here. A group of nursing home residents have begun recreating famous album covers. This is really, really fun. As an effort to give them some delight and some fun and increase their morale during the lockdown, they've started recreating famous album covers in image form. They say, as the situation is ongoing, it could be many months before COVID changes for these residents, and the need to keep them happy, entertained, and full of spirit has never been more crucial. The activities director at Sidmar Lodge and Care in Edgware says it has been his job and privilege to provide them with this entertaining venture. Very, very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week in good news.
The Fists of Arkan is the debut novel by author Jack Kiesling. Action, adventure, and personal challenges are the focal point of this immersive book set against a backdrop of war. Deep character development and wide perspectives explore social issues relevant to the real world. Dive in and discover the answer to the age-old question faced by leaders many. What kind of royal will you be? This is a paid advertisement for Jack Kiesling Books and the Fist of Arkin.